If I were smart, I would have thought about making a video like this before I sent my watch in. So here's the story. About 20 years ago, I purchased this Rolex Submariner. It's stainless steel and gold. I've worn it every single day for the last 20 years. Over the course of those 20 years, the band has stretched. And apparently that's a fairly common thing. It's the regular Submariner band, which I guess is the Oyster band. There's a bunch of different variations of it in newer Rolexes, but it's I don't know if it's called a flip lock, but it's basically there's a double clasp, pops out, and it comes off like this. Since the band was stretched out so much and it wasn't just this one area, I started doing some research. And Rolex, I would have liked to send it back to Rolex. They don't look at these. In their opinion, from what I understand, going on and registering for a bunch of Rolex forums, if the band stretches, you're done. You got to order a new band. A new band's a few $1,000s at this point. I started looking around. Who can replace the pins? Now, each link has, I believe it's 3 pins. And the pins don't go all the way through. It would be nice if you could just push the pins through or unscrew them. Both sides are closed. So the way you take the pins off, according to a few videos I've seen, you need a $400 vise made for this particular band. And it clamps both sides of stainless steel without marring them and pulls the 2 sides apart. Now you have the 2 pieces of that band apart, the 3 pieces of that band apart, a left side, a right side, and a gold piece in the middle. And you take, I believe there's 2 or 3 pins. You take the bent pins out and you replace them with new friction pins, and you have to do the clamp in reverse and put the pins in and clamp it together. So there's this place called Rolliworks. They're now located in Florida, and they do this service for you. And it's a few $100s, maybe like $300 or $400. Not only do they do that, but when the band starts to flex over time and flexes, it actually wears down some of the stainless steel and wears down some of the gold. So the corners of these links where they've been pushing against each other become rounded. So they offer you, I guess they can either solder or weld or whatever it is. They can weld stainless steel. They can actually make the corners of the band for you. And depending on how much time they have to spend, they quote your price. So what I did was I contacted them. I told them what I had. I told them the issue. They were great. They gave me they said, we'll take a look at the band when it comes in and we'll give you an approximation of the price and you can decide what you want to do. So they sent me a mailer, a FedEx mailer. They said, take the watch face, you keep that, send us the band. So I sent them the band, like 2-day mail or whatever it was, 2-day FedEx. I brought it to the FedEx place. I wrapped it up. They got it. This Ivy, who was there, sent me an email saying they received it. They'll look at it within the next few days. They'll get back to me. So they gave me a price to do just the pins, or the pins and some soldering or some welding. You know, you can do as much as you want. In my case, the gold was so far gone it wouldn't be worth it to try to weld little pieces of gold. I keep saying weld or solder. I'm not sure which it is. Anyway, I told him to go ahead with the soldering or welding, whatever. I told him to go ahead and do that because how often am I going to send this in? Once every 20 years, I might as well get it. So they actually take the band apart. They put everything in an ultrasonic cleaner. They cleaned it all. They square up and weld the pieces, the edges that need it. Then they put everything back together and they polish it for you. So again, I wish I have some before pictures, maybe like 3 or 4 that I sent to them. I'll take some pictures and maybe overlay this so you're not looking at my face the entire video. But very, very great. I highly recommend it. couple of small issues, and to be honest, I didn't even tell Rolliworks. Number one, well, first of all, they caught something. I had sent the watch out only one time to be serviced to someplace that wasn't Rolex in California. And I actually sent it because one of the clasp blades had been replaced. And that was really the main reason I sent it to this place in California. The blades, I don't know if you can see, is this part over here, these two pieces. So one of them was actually replaced with a non-Rolex part. I didn't know it, but they said if you want to leave it, it's fine. If you want it replaced, they gave me a price. So I said, yeah, replace it. Okay, so anyway, so I got it back. It looked beautiful. It was polished. They really did a great job. The edges are squared off. It has almost no flex now. I was worried it wasn't going to fit, but it fits fine. The one issue, and I did not tell them this, is the clasp did not close. When I got it back, it looked great, but it didn't snap shut. Whoever worked on it didn't take the time to make sure it closed properly. So I would assume most people who have these watches know how to adjust the clasp. It's not a big deal. You just bend one of the blades, and it makes it so it locks. So that's what I did. I adjusted it myself, and I bent it so that now it locks and it's fine. But it would have been nice, quality control wise, if whoever worked on it actually made sure it snapped closed. Because if I was somebody who was totally inept and was worried and didn't know what I was doing, I would have had to bring it to someplace to get the clasp. I mean, it didn't close at all. You know, I would put this closed and it would just open right up. Now at least it snaps closed. That's really my only negative, and that's minimal. And that's probably only because I had a blade on the clasp changed. They'd have no reason to mess around with that at all, I wouldn't think, if you weren't changing that out. So anyway, they offer you varying degrees of polish, from a like new polish you have to pay extra for, to 1 to 10, 7 being what they'll do for no charge. I said, just do it at 7. I don't care if it's, I'm not one of these people that doesn't want it polished. Beautiful. I don't know how it could have been any nicer. Really, I think they probably polished it before they put it together, because it really looked great. And that's it. So now I'm back. I had the Rolex looks like it looked when it was new, to be honest with you. There's probably 1 or 2 people in the whole United States that do this service, and I'm glad I found this place, Rolliworks. They did a really nice job, and I would highly recommend them.